Yeah,
Now it is. Okay,
there
now
we got
There
it.
we go. I clicked it before, but I didn't see I think I was watching the waiting room, huh?
Perfect.
Yeah.
And I didn't see the record to the cloud because Cindy said, be sure to record to the cloud. And I said, okay, I'll do that. Okay. I think we got it. Thank you, whoever said that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so Nancy from San Ramon, I already know you're going to look at your branch
Yes.
bylaws. Okay, Carolyn Hedgecock.
Okay, I'm secretary of the Fremont branch. There are
Okay.
3 of us here tonight that I see on the screen.
Hey,
I think, well, we'll be updating our branch bylaws, I'm pretty sure. But our biggest concern right now is our AAUW branch is a 501c4. Our foundation is a 501c3, and we operate completely separately, or almost completely separately.
right.
But then I read in what you sent out that all of AAUW is now a 501c3, but
Oh.
then we have to register with the state, and so we're confused.
Okay, we'll try to straighten that out. It gets
Okay,
confusing because some branches are incorporated. Some branches are unincorporated.
They're incorporated.
Yeah, and some branches are have formed 501c3s, but the branch is a 501c4. So it gets a little confusing, I think. Yeah, but we'll try to figure that out. Right. Okay. Hey, Kathleen Doty.
I'm from the Alhambra San Gabriel branch. I'm currently the newsletter editor and the speech trek coordinator, and I chair our Colorful Stories Committee, and I'm bylaws and parliamentarian. So I'm here tonight. Our branch, I called a committee meeting this last summer. We reviewed our bylaws, and prior to doing that, I searched the national website. I saw the new model, but I did not see anywhere the mandate to change. And so I did not present that to my committee. I knew it was there, and I thought, well, they'll tell me if I have to do it. And so now you've told me, and we'll do it. But we've already done all the rest of the changes that we wanted to do.
Okay, great. So no on the branch. Yeah, well, I was telling somebody else before everybody came on that the association didn't really notify us.
They didn't.
No, we just kind of discovered it. And so Sandy and I talked about it, and we said, well, let's get it started,
The last time they did a mandate, they were very adamant, and they had a deadline, and they pushed it out 7 ways from Sunday. But this time they just sort of put the model up there and didn't even say, here it is.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, right. So I think they lost a few people on the staff. I think that's what happened. Okay, and now we have, and I probably will mispronounce your name. Is it Pre-Dye?
Yes. Hi, everyone. Greetings from San Francisco Bay Area. I'm also with the Fremont branch.
Oh,
yes. And I'm the president, and we have a really good representation here tonight because this is a very timely topic for us. I was chatting with one of my senior officers last night. She's an attorney, and she mentioned that on the AAUW national website in 2009, all branches were supposed to submit an affiliate agreement to declare whether or not they're a 501c4 or 501c3. And so I looked through my presidential box. I did not see that agreement. So I actually emailed you at 10 p.m.
Yes.
So I don't know if you received my email.
I did.
Is there any way to confirm in 2009, what did we declare our branch as? 501c3 or 501c4? That's what we're here to find out also.
Yeah, well,
what we're going to do with our foundation.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that because we are, in fact, I'm going to tell you all this right now, and then I'll tell you again. I'm going to have you all send me your bylaws, and we're going to keep a copy at the state, and then we're going to send them on also to national, because we have discovered that in the changing of officers during the years, branches have lost their bylaws, they've lost their incorporation papers, they just have lost things. And so now that we have this wonderful thing called the Google Drive, we can keep all those things. But back in 2009, we didn't have that. So I don't know what we're going to find, but we're going to look. We're going to look and see.
We did have paper card copies of everybody's bylaws, and a conscious decision was made to no longer do that.
Yeah, back when
I
you
can tell you that happened about 2014.
Okay. So do you think we threw them all away?
Oh, yeah.
This is
Because we were moving offices and things needed to be cleared out, and there was a storage space that was being rented as well. And so it all churned up, and a variety of people made the decision that we should no longer be storing branch because they did not have an affiliate agreement with the state, and therefore we should not be keeping their bylaws.
okay. Well,
Diane,
yes.
what if you're looking for a copy of the affiliate agreement, have you asked AAUW? I would think the national organization would have kept a copy of all the affiliate agreements.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely do. I asked them and they said, let me go through the records, and they came up with it.
Yeah. The affiliate agreement they'll have. They might not have whether you're a 501c4 or for a 501c3, but they'd have the affiliate agreement unless that's on there. I don't know.
No,
Yeah. But I will answer your email, Purdy. Okay.
thank you.
Okay. And Jennifer Foster.
Yeah, I'm Jennifer Foster from the Fremont branch,
Oh, okay.
and I am very interested in the 501c3, 501c4 discussion.
Okay. Great. Good representation from Fremont. Great. And Marilyn Richardson.
I'm the president of the Pacifica branch, and our board has decided in early 2024, we're going to meet as a board and decide if we do need and or want to update our bylaws.
Okay. So we'll put a question mark right there. And what was your branch again?
Pacifica.
Pacifica. Okay. So you can look them over and then, yeah, and you can make that decision. Doesn't matter anytime, right? So, okay. And Denise Montoya.
Hi, I'm Denise Montoya from the Long Beach branch. I'm the current immediate past co-president with Sunny Zia, and I've been on the bylaws committee because I've been a president 3 times. So I've been on the committee 3 times. And it's really nice to see Kathleen. I haven't seen you since before COVID, and the last time I had talked to you was about a bylaws question. So I'm so glad you're still doing this.
Can't get out of it.
Right. Once you get into it, it's hard to get out of it.
And
And
we got 2 other members with us tonight too.
okay. And do you think Long Beach is going to do something with their branch bylaws too?
Do you think what?
Do you think you're going to update any of your branch
Oh,
bylaws?
yes, we are.
Okay.
I'm going to let Frances do the talking, but I think she's chomping at the bit to get rid of duplicative pieces in our bylaws as well as our policies and procedures. There's got to be a way to shorten that stuff up a little and make it a lot easier to get through.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And she's
Okay.
good at it.
Okay, good. Okay, I'll get to her. Right. And Sharifa Bartz? Bats. Okay.
Yes. Okay, I was checking to see if I typed it incorrectly. 'Cause
No,
I was typing
No,
fast.
I'm just reading it incorrectly.
Okay, so I'm with the Long Beach branch with my sister there, Denise. And I'm in charge. I'm the VP of programs. So I am just joining to learn about it and be whatever assistance I need to be for the Long Beach branch.
Well, good for you. Good for you. Thank you for coming. That's great. And next, Lynn Cummings.
Hello, I'm from the Santa Cruz County branch, and I'm the AAUW Fund Vice President and a General Meddler. And I saw this in the board to board, which I read even the parts that weren't AAUW fund. And we're going to get tangled up in the 501c3, C4 part also. But as far as I know, we're not going to to look at separate changes to the branch part of the bylaws. We just spent 3 months on the policies and procedures, and our heads are kind of scrambled. Speaking for
That was
me,
enough,
I don't know
huh?
about the rest of the board, but my head's scrambled.
Okay, and Francis Rosner. Hello there. And
Francis
your
is
mic is
muted.
on.
Francis is muted.
Sorry. Okay, so I'm delighted to have most of my committee here. We have one more person who should be assigned by the president eventually, but we are definitely going to be looking at our bylaws. Some of our bylaws actually look more like policies and procedures rather than bylaws. We have actually made some changes to the bylaws and never sent them to you. We haven't had a parliamentarian for quite a few years. So I'm stepping into that role, but I was here when we did the stuff in 2016 and 17. And yes, I remember turning in the form that said our affiliate agreement in 2009, because I was president in 2009 also. So
You just muted yourself.
Again.
You muted.
I did, I put my hands on the thing, I'm sorry. I'm appreciating the team for being here because we do make changes. And the idea about commas, look what it did in our Constitution of the United States. So it's really important that we get the commas in the right place because it does make a difference on where we pause on different things. But I'm actually looking forward to getting some of these things changed and then turned in, Diane, because I didn't know what the process was. And the description of parliamentarian for our job description needs to be updated as well.
Yeah. Right.
So.
Well, this just seems like a good way to do it. Send everything to the state and then we'll send everything on so it gets to national.
It was
And
done
then-
that way last time too.
Yeah. And then we have a copy. Unless, unless something goes wrong with the drive, you never know. I mean, you can lose electronic stuff just as easily as you can lose boxes, right?
Mhm.
Right.
We actually have an annual yearbook that lists all of our policies and procedures and bylaws. So every member has one. They have a
Really?
copy of it. Yeah, and some of you others
Wow.
do too. So
Yeah, but
Yeah. Yep. Right. Good. Okay. And let's see, Deborah, Cummings, you've already spoken, right? No. Okay. Deborah Cummings.
My name's Deborah Cummings. I'm from the Delta Contra Costa branch. We might be the smallest branch in the state or the country, as far as I know, but I am co-president and just about every other thing. So I know I did the bylaws the last time, and I definitely want to take a look at our branch bylaws in addition to whatever is required.
Okay, great. Great. Well, thank you. Thank you. And Amy Law.
Hi, everyone. I am also from the Long Beach branch. I'm currently one of the co-presidents.
Okay.
can I make one other statement on this one? We're incorporated in Long Beach. So last time we went through the whole change in bylaws, we were given incorporated template.
Right.
We have to change that template. And I don't know if California will allow us to slash some of the information that was on there. So that would be the other question, because some of it is more policy driven than bylaws. So there's so much how we do things rather than what is being done in the bylaws.
Yeah, there are different ones for incorporated and unincorporated, right? But I only have the copy of the 2016-17 one. See, so we've got a little work to do, right?
And I have those too.
Yeah.
I mean, I have the model that you gave us at that time.
Right.
But
Right.
we don't know if we need to change those or not. So,
That
or
is-
if we can change our things without disrupting something for being incorporated.
Right. That's the main question. Right.
Okay.
Okay. And Karen Dennis.
I'm from the Mission Viejo Saddleback Valley branch on the Leadership Council and bylaws, but I'm also on the Leadership Council for Laguna Beach and on bylaws. So I'm a double-fisted person. The Laguna Beach probably won't redo its bylaws for the branch, but it is both a 501c3 and a 501c4. Mission Viejo is only a 4, but I think we will be looking at our bylaws.
Okay. Okay, so I'll put you down for both branches, right?
Please.
Busy lady. Busy
Oh,
lady. Yes. Okay, and Nancy. I haven't seen Nancy Marr for a while. Hi. And your mic is off.
You're muted.
Still muted, right?
I always forget to unmute. Thank you. Nice to see you. Nice to see Chicky. I haven't seen Chicky before, but we've talked before on the phone. And Kathleen, nice to see you. But anyway, our branch, I am the bylaws chair for the branch, as well as the public policy chair and the DEI chair. So I have a lot of things to do.
Yes.
On the bylaws, we are looking to review our bylaws and see if they need to be addressed. Definitely our policies and procedures need to be updated, and that may result in some changes to the bylaws, as well as any that may be required.
What branch are you with?
Palos Verdes Peninsula. That's in Los Angeles County, South Bay area.
Okay. Okay, and Denise, you've spoken, right? Montoya, somehow you moved down to the bottom. And Sharifa, yes. How about Terry Houseman? We haven't heard from you, Terry.
Hi, everyone. I'm Terry Hausman. I'm the leadership chair for the Amador branch. We're in the foothills. And I think we revised our bylaws in 2021, but we're about to do it again. So we're all up. We are a 501c4, and I'm very interested in knowing the difference.
Okay, very good. Great. Now, did I miss anybody? I think I missed some of you on the recording, but I know not so bad, I guess, right? So, but I evidently didn't miss anybody talking. So thank you all. That was great. It was great to take that. I know it takes time to do that, but I think it's so important, even at the beginning of a Zoom meeting, to have everybody talk and find out where they're from and what they're interested in. And now we'll get down to the business part of it. The agenda is pretty short, actually. And, you may have some questions, but the main thing tonight is about the national bylaws. We voted on them in May of 2022, and now they're mandatory. So we can't change anything on them. We just have to cut and paste. So when you look at your branch bylaws, the first thing that you'll see will be the ones from national. And so you'll just cut and paste those. And I can share my screen and show you what that looks like. I think, were you all able to get it off of the website, the national website?
Yes.
Okay, you're all able to get it. So, but I'll show you anyway. Let's see if I can find it on my screen here. Here it is. Okay. So I think it's pretty straightforward. What you do is just insert your name. And I know there were some questions that I've answered through email about the name, but whatever your official name is, put that there. And so if you're incorporated, be sure to put the INC in there. And otherwise, it's pretty just cut and paste it and put it in. Does anybody have any questions about that?
I'm not sure if we're an INC or not. How do we find that out?
Okay, if you're incorporated, then you would be, that would stand for the INC stands for Incorporated Branch.
And would that be section 1?
Yeah, well, this actually, has nothing, you just would put that in at the beginning where it says inserted name, insert your name of the affiliate. And so you would put the Inc. after that if you're incorporated. And you should know if you're incorporated. Do you have any articles of incorporation?
No, not that I know of in
Gotcha.
either branch. And I
Yeah.
don't know for even if in 501c3, I assume we'd be incorporated for a 3.
Yeah, I don't.
Check.
No, not necessarily, but you should look at your current bylaws because their official name would be in the current bylaws too. And they would
Okay.
include the incorporated if they were.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, so just take it from your old bylaws and insert it in there, right?
Our Long Beach ones do not.
Yeah,
On
then,
the bylaws, so we will make that change in the incorporated. We know we're incorporated.
oh, and they didn't put the INC in it last time? Yeah.
Nope.
Uh-huh. That could have happened, I think, that, that people just didn't do that, right?
Okay, can I ask a question?
Sure.
So it seems to me that when we've done things before, they have put whatever is new in a different color or so that you would know. So at this point though, we're just copy and paste basically all of this until we get to
Yeah.
wherever else that things become differentiated.
Right. These are the bylaws of the American Association of University Women. And so they're the national bylaws that were changed. So this part of it, they don't care if you're incorporated or unincorporated or whatever, except that your name should have the INC in it if you are an incorporated branch.
Could I ask a question?
Sure.
What are there any particular advantages to being incorporated, and when
No.
would a branch
No.
be incorporated
No.
versus not incorporated?
No, there was just a big push at one time. And it was right after I had come to California and joined the branch in California. And there was this big push from national, I think. Now, somebody maybe can correct me. This was just my understanding.
You're
And
right.
they-
National wanted everybody to be incorporated for some reason.
Yep. Okay.
I think it was for insurance purposes. Like if your branch did something and somebody got hurt, they didn't want anything other than your branch to have to pay for, problems. That's something that I heard a long time ago.
Okay. Well, this is interesting because I knew it was a big push from national. And we had a member in our local branch whose husband was an attorney. And so we said, okay, we'll be incorporated. But it's a pain actually to be incorporated. We've got this list of people that have to be on the board, the number of people that have to be on the board, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But anyway.
I have a question about these bylaws.
Yes.
Okay, these bylaws are the ones that used to be on it. The proposed bylaws, the clean version, is totally different.
Oh,
Right,
really?
but the model that we have that we're looking at is the model. That's what I had a confusion about too, because if you look at the clean version, it's worded very differently.
It's totally different. And I think that's the one we're supposed to copy and put into our bylaws. This is the old one.
Oh.
No.
Because that's what
No,
I
I
have
don't
in
think
my
so.
file is the old one. But the
No.
proposed bylaws clean version that was in the email is completely different. It starts out with charitable corporate purpose.
No. Oh,
It is different.
I think this is the one we're supposed to follow, and I didn't pay any attention to that one that said clean on it.
Diane,
This is completely the same as the old one.
no, it doesn't look the same as the old one. No, we have a totally different, there was section 1 and section 2 in article 2 in the old one.
I'm pretty sure this is, okay, here's what I'll do. I'll be sure to let you all know in an email, but I'm pretty sure this has to be the one.
This is the clean one. This is a new one.
This is the
Well,
new
this-
one.
This is the model. Diane,
I have-
it was labeled as model. So where did the model come from?
Oh, that comes from national. This is
Did
the
that
model.
come from national?
Yeah, this is the model that we're supposed to use to
Right.
put into our bylaws.
I
The
think,
one, ladies, I have 3 sets of bylaws in front of me. None of them have anything about 501c3 in them. This whole section on purpose that we see in front of us in this new model bylaws, this is new to our, to appear in our bylaws. It was not in the previous version that we had. And I had, like I mentioned in the email, I have a lot of bylaws from 2012, and at that point in time, it was not something that appeared in the branch bylaws either. But that was before they had all these mandated sections that they've been doing for the last few years when they've done big mandated changes.
But doesn't this really look like the affiliate that we had to do all those changes with? See
That's
how
what we are, though.
affiliate as opposed to the new one?
Yep.
Yeah, this is the affiliate, that's us, branches.
That's us, right?
It's
That's
the
us.
branch model bylaws, May 2023.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Uh-huh. And this is because of the vote that we took, and they changed a lot of things, and so that's why we have these new ones.
But
And so
I don't see 2023. Where are you seeing
It's
that?
in the title, way at the very top. The very top line of the document up there at the top says, next, that has a box that says search, it says affiliate dash model dash bylaws dash May dash 2023.
Okay, but
Arrow,
I'm not
save.
It's how it was saved.
The file name.
yeah, it
the
is.
top-
It doesn't show on mine, right? But
It's
yeah,
the file name on yours,
Yeah.
Diane.
it's the file name. Oh, that's right. It's the
yeah,
file.
when you
name.
save it, that's what comes up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Right.
When I clicked on the body of the email that I got, it took me to national. I looked through the changes that were recommended, but it just said proposed, and it was all kind of following the same format, but it was different. And it reflected far more of what was on national's bylaws than ours. There's no wording in our bylaws about a CEO, but there is at national. So I stopped reading that and I went, that can't possibly be our copy. And then started reading this one. I thought, well, this is way closer to what we're supposed to be doing.
That might have been nationals
Yeah.
bylaws, not the affiliates.
Right.
Right. This is the one that we're supposed to put into our bylaws, and then our branch bylaws will follow this. So this is the first part. If you look at your branch bylaws, you will see something from AUW, the first 7 articles.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the ones you have to switch over to. You have to cut and
Yeah.
paste. Mm-hmm.
Diane, the confusion that we have, and I know a few other people brought this up, our branch is a 501c4.
Right.
So if we look at Article 2, it doesn't mention 501c4, and I didn't know if, as an affiliate for national, are we included in this section of, are we covered under the 501c3?
No.
And, okay, so
No.
what do we do about that piece if we're not?
Well, these are nationals bylaws, and they are a 501c3. All
So
of AUW National is a 501c3, but the affiliates, the branch, could be a 501, could have a 501c3 as a separate arm, or they could be, their whole branch could be incorporated.
Okay.
I have a question. Does this mean that if our members donate to the AAUW fund, that is 501c3?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Can I ask a
It
question?
always has been.
Okay.
Always has been. Yeah, right.
Can I
Well,
ask a question?
yeah.
Okay, I'm looking at this stuff and you're talking about the affiliates agreement that, remember, we signed that.
Yes.
A change to the affiliate agreement?
No.
It's a different document.
We're called affiliates.
Yeah.
Right? And we call ourselves branches. So it gets a little confusing
I
sometimes.
know,
Yes.
but that's because
But it says the bylaws of this affiliate shall in no way conflict with the AUW bylaws and or policies.
Right.
So all the branches are called affiliates. Some attorney did this, of course, right? So anyway, so I think people get confused because we call ourselves branches. We're branches. But every time you see affiliate here, just read branch.
Okay, so my question is, on these things that we're going to get, does that mean we're supposed to take whatever is not the same wording as what ours now say and change them to fit exact word for word?
Copy and paste.
Copy and paste. The first 7 articles are just copy and paste.
Okay, got it.
Except for insert your name where it goes.
Yeah, and insert your name where it goes. Right, exactly.
Like you do.
So this part of it will be pretty easy. Just cut and paste.
Yeah, I got it.
May I point out, as confusing as the wording is about 501c3, if you read the beginning of that, it says that your purposes have to be in line with national as a 501c3. It doesn't say you have to be a 501c3. It just says your purpose has to be in line. So don't get yourself in a kerfuffle about whether your branch is a C4 or a C3. National is a C3. And so our purposes have to be in line with national. That's all it's saying.
So we don't have to add anything specifically in our bylaws that say we're a five.
Your bylaws do not have to outline your IRS status.
Right.
Thank you, Kathleen.
Yes, thank you, Kathleen. That's confusing, I know, because I've had some questions through emails about it too, so it's confusing.
I had another question, unless we're going to continue.
Yeah, Sandy Hansen has her hand up next. Okay.
Okay.
Christine, go ahead. And then
Are we ready for the question that I sent you, Diane?
Oh, we could handle that. Yes. Let's have Christina ask her question and then we'll get to you, Sandy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
thank you
okay,
for raising your hands. Right.
I was going to just move on to the issue of if we want to change any of our other bylaws after we insert this whole section. And my question was, the additional bylaws that we currently have are kind of wordy, as somebody brought up before, and some of it is quite redundant. So if we just want to simplify or edit or renumber some of the articles without making substantive changes, can we do that? Or is that something that we have to run past our board? Because I think it says if you're just replacing, you don't have to, the board can just make those changes and that's it. If you're making other changes to the other articles, then you need to have your branch approve it. So I just wondered.
Yes.
So even if we're making no major substantive changes, we're just kind of rewording things to make it more concise.
Yeah, and so you're probably deleting some things to make it more concise and rewording. And so it's good to have the members look at that. And so you can do that at your annual meeting in the spring.
Right.
And I still have the 1617 what they called the model branch bylaws for incorporated and unincorporated. And if anybody wants those, I can certainly send them to you to give you some ideas. But we're not going to get anything else from national. This is all we're going to get from national, as I understand it right now. Just that part that they want us to cut and paste.
Francis has a question here.
Francis and Sandy Hansen too. So, okay.
Just a comment on some of the indemnifications. Some of this stuff came through for California in 2017. So there are some things like indemnification, et cetera. I think those are ones that have to go. I mean, California stated this is what we need to do to be legal.
Right. The incorporated
annual meeting, the membership meetings, those things have to be in there. We can't change those.
Right. There's some things we can't change. Right. And especially the incorporated branches have to follow California corporate law.
Right. It's the question of the officers where we just have so much verbiage about officers.
Right, right. And you know, we don't have to have all those officers really. That's something that we can talk about.
Okay.
Okay.
Speaking to officers, that's the change we made in our bylaws recently. We said the only officers we must elect are president, secretary, and treasurer.
Right.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
It made it much easier, and anything else can be in policies and procedures, easy to make changes by the board, where any changes to the bylaws have to be a membership vote.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Right.
We
And-
have that too.
And okay, and National even says you don't have to elect a secretary. You can just appoint a secretary every time you have a meeting. But I think it's good to have somebody take the minutes all the time. So anyway,
Minutes are required. You have to have minutes, and they have to be kept forever.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So you have to
Quick
have somebody take
question.
the minutes. So
Quick
Sam-
question. And
Yeah.
I saw what I was looking at. Will you be sending this to each of us?
Would you like to have a copy of this that I have on the screen right now?
Yes, I would,
Yes,
please.
I can certainly send that to you. Yes, I can.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Thank you.
Because I have it as a document. Yeah. So then you don't have to search for it on the AUW
Oh,
National
good,
website.
good.
That would be
Good.
great.
Okay.
Thank
I'll,
you.
I'll send it to everybody. And if you don't need it, you know how to delete it. Okay.
Right.
Okay, and we can
Sandy
edit
Hanson.
this, when we get this, this is editable? I mean,
Yes.
so we could
Yes.
insert,
This,
okay,
this is a Word document. Uh-huh.
okay.
Mm-hmm. So Sandy Hanson, tell us your question.
Okay, at the end, Articles 6 and 7 address parliamentary authority and amending the bylaws. And in looking at Robert's Rules of Order, and their sample bylaws and so forth, it is recommended that those articles appear at the very end of the bylaws. So I'm wondering, do they need to be here and at the end, or should whatever we have for our branch bylaws go before what's here is Article 6 and 7, and those two articles go to the very end, along with the being sure that you have the indemnification article that's required by California.
Well,
That's what the articles 1 to 7.
Yeah, I think the reason, Sandy, that, and I didn't answer you this, but I've been thinking about it. And I think the reason that AUW has these here is that these are the AUW bylaws.
Right.
So they have to have them. And then I think they decided back in 16, 17, that we didn't need to repeat it at the end of our branch bylaws.
Right.
That was my understanding. I thought we had to do 1 through 7, exactly what you're seeing now.
Right.
But then when you started 8, that was local control.
That's right. That's exactly right. And so what Sandy Hansen is asking, should we put, and we'd have to renumber them, but should we put these 2, which are now 6 and 7, at the end of all of our branch bylaws? And I'm thinking they decided that we only needed to do it once. And that's at the end of the AUW bylaws.
Okay.
But we do have, this is Francis asking, the articles that we have the very end of our bylaws, it does say amendments to the bylaws, and that has to do with how the branch handles any change to the bylaws, not the AUW mandated ones, but the amendments to the bylaws. So maybe we just make branch amendments to the bylaws.
Yeah.
Amendments to the branch bylaws. Maybe
At
that's
the
what
end,
we
at
call
the
it.
end of the branch bylaws. Yes, that's what I think. Uh-huh.
Okay, just call it something different. Amendments.
Right. We kind of put it together. AUW's kind of put it together. So they have their bylaws, and then we have our branch bylaws.
Right.
So does that sound reasonable, Sandy?
It does. We just need to be sure that our branches actually have how to amend them in their own, how to amend the branch bylaws in their bylaws.
Yeah, exactly. You're exactly right.
Right.
And the fact, like I know our branch bylaws have a thing about Robert's rules in there. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But what you're saying is these will still go right at the beginning of our branch bylaws.
Right.
And our branch bylaws will be continuing, in other words, on the same document.
Uh-huh. 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 And the numbering will continue.
Right, okay,
So the next number will be Article 8.
right.
That's where the branch bylaws start. Let me show you these other documents that I have here. Let's see if I can close this one out. Stop sharing this, and then I'll show you.
Excuse me.
Put my glasses on so I can see it. I want to show you three things. Here's the model bylaws for incorporated branches from 19. It says updated winter 2017.
Right.
Now I have these, and if anybody wants these, I can send them to you.
We have those in Long Beach.
Yeah, I bet you do. But see how this is the beginning? This is all national. This at the beginning. And Sandy Kirkpatrick did this. Do you remember her?
Right.
Uh-huh.
But we like those red,
And she had
mandatory.
blue, right? And she had blue. This is mandatory, and this you might do this and you might do that. Okay. And here's the officers, and she did things in red. She must have spent hours on this.
She did.
Hours and hours. But anybody who wants these, I'll be happy to send it to you. Okay. Then I'm going to get out of this and show you the ones that say incorporated or unincorporated. I'm not as fast as Sandy Gabe is at doing this. Sorry. Share my screen again. And this one. And this is for unincorporated, though this is for unincorporated. But it says note here, the incorporated should use, the note incorporated branches should use the model bylaws for incorporated branches, not this model.
Not this model, yeah.
Clarification,
Mm-hmm.
Diane. So when you say model, that means if you were starting with a fresh piece of paper, this would be the recommended place to start. Is that accurate?
That's accurate.
Thank
Then
you.
and then you just tailor it to what your branch does.
And
you
so,
know,
this model would include what the California organization believes should be in good bylaws. Is that, so it's sort of a best practice? Would you describe it as a best practice?
Yeah, I would.
Sandy Kirkpatrick had a different idea about what should be in terms of, for example, officers, because Carol Holtzcraft very clearly said only 3 need to be elected.
Well,
but Sandy Kirkpatrick wanted them all listed, which made it very difficult to make any changes.
Right.
Well, that's because
Officers.
things have changed over the years.
So I just want to caution people, you cannot necessarily follow this as best practices. That was best practices for Sandy Kirkpatrick.
Well, it's best practices for AUW in 2016, 2017.
Things have changed.
Things
we
have
changed our
changed.
bylaws
Right.
based on the most recent information we got from AAUW California.
So this would be a model for the bylaws that would be section 8 going forward, right? Because we need to substitute the new model for the first sections. correct?
And you can change a lot of these and all, but this is just something that, it might help you just see what's in there. But let me
that would
show
be
you.
very useful.
Wait a
That would be
minute.
very useful.
But section 1 through 8 is what national says is the first part of everybody's bylaws.
Right.
We can't change this.
1 through 7. 1 through
I mean,
7.
1 through 7. We can only change 8 through 15.
That is
Right.
correct.
Right. Okay.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Okay.
Except what they told us that we have to change.
Which is
In
1
this
through 8.
model, the first sections 1 through 7 are the old mandatory from
Right.
national. We'll substitute the new 1 through 7, but we can use 8 and subsequent articles as our model.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
My suggestion then, Diane, before you send this out, would be to, at a minimum, remove the part that would be absolutely forbidden And
Okay.
either replace it with the new, with a mark that says,
This is new.
as of 2023, this is best practice or branch as an example, or, have some notation on it. Because if this circulates around now as a best practice, I mean, we're hearing this from you, but once you sent a document out into the wild, it has a life of its own.
Right.
And who knows what IBCs or whatever will, share it, and then it will get even more confused. So my recommendation would be that you change at a minimum, maybe remove
Yeah,
1 through 7 and just say start 1 through 8, or C national, something like that.
I'll send the national along, but get rid of this. Right. I thank you, Kathleen.
The part that you cannot, the part that's now
confusing.
been outdated.
Yeah, that's a good idea, because the 25 people that are on this call will remember what I said, but the others will not. Right.
Good point.
Okay, now thank you, Kathleen. That's good. I'll do that. And okay, now I want to share you one more thing, and then it's 8:03, so we better call this.
Dee has her hand up.
Yeah. Who has their hand up?
B.
Okay.
Yeah, hi. Diane, I just wanted to quickly ask you a question about board of directors.
Okay.
So for our 401c4 branch, we have a board of directors with 10 officers. For our 401c3 foundation, we have a board of directors with 5 officers. So after we adopt the national amendment for the branch to become a 501c3 entity, what do we do with our boards?
Oh, I'm sorry, those are 2 separate entities.
They're 2 separate things. Yeah. They're 2 separate things. And you're not going to become a 50, your branch is still going to be a 501c4.
Your branch.
It sounds like it. And you have a separate 501c3. Maybe we'll have
and separate boards.
And separate boards. Right. Why don't we talk on the phone about that?
Okay, so with the new amendments, so the branch is not going to change its designation as the 501c3.
No. Remember we talked about that? The notation about the 501c3 is in the new AAUW national bylaws, that first 7 sections. And that doesn't have anything to do with your branch.
Oh, I see. Okay.
That's nationals. And then your branch bylaws are going to start with section 8.
Now, I have a question.
Yes, Francis.
On the rest of the ones from 8 forward, have you had a chance to look at the ones in this 2017 thing to see if there's anything that we're not allowed to change? In other words, have we changed anything at AAUW California? Because there's a lot of reference to AAUW California. You have to be a member of this and that, and you have to do different things. So I'm assuming we would have to keep everything about AAUW California, but maybe things have changed since 2017.
I haven't read it carefully. I don't think anything's changed that's in here, but let me look at that and see.
Okay, so we're still exempt from the payment of national AAUW and AAUW California dues. That hasn't changed. We just want to make sure that there hasn't been anything that we don't want to take out something that AAUW California says we still have to have.
Yeah, well, AAUW California hasn't changed their bylaws since 2017, have they?
Not that I know of.
Okay, then that would stay that way then. That's fine.
Yeah, but I will check that just to be sure. Just to be sure, I will check that. But I think everything I read when I read through this, I think everything for California is okay.
Yeah, and then whatever you're changing your branch for is going to be dependent on what you change your branch.
Right. So let me show you one more thing, and then we will stop here. One more thing that you might want me to send you. And that is this can okay, let's share this. This is about, if your branch is interested in having an alternative structure in your branch and not governing like you do right now. And this comes from back in the late 80s. And this has these charts in here. You could be a coordinating committee, be a task force model, skills model. And some of you will remember Jo Harbison.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
She wrote that, she did this.
Wow.
And I just got a copy, and so it's a little sideways, but see her name here? Jo
Mhm.
Harbison, Walnut Creek, Many Ways to Lead.
Yeah.
She wrote this 1987.
Wow.
So back in 1987 at a national convention, which was, they didn't say where it was. Where was it?
Washington, D.C.
Anyway, they were already thinking about different ways to lead and
I
not
think
having
that
a
one was
president.
in Ohio.
Was it in Ohio? You were-
89 was in Washington.
Okay.
And you were there, weren't you? Anyway, would you like to have a copy of this too?
Yes.
Sure.
No.
Okay. It's easy to do. I'll just attach it. Okay. So now have I confused you enough?
No.
No, this has actually been really helpful.
Well, and I don't think it's obviously this isn't the end, but I don't have another scheduled meeting, but maybe we should do something maybe in January after you've had the holidays and had time to think about it, get together again and see what you're doing. And we can do a lot just by email. You can just send things to me at governance and I'll answer your emails. But I will send you all these things. The people that didn't show up tonight probably, well, maybe I can get them to those. Everybody that signed up can get one, right? They just won't have had this hour to get to know everybody, right?
Right.
So any last minute questions?
And so once we've completed this, we send it to you.
Yep.
Okay, and you'll take care of getting it to national and
yes, yeah,
and,
yeah,
and putting it up
will
in a
there
cloud
be-
someplace.
Do
Will
we
there
have a
be
deadline?
anyone reading it and giving us feedback, or you're just going to accept whatever we send?
Well, if you,
Or is there a way to get feedback if we need
yeah,
it?
well, I think with your branch bylaws, I'd like to read it and give you, some comments about it. If you just copy and paste the national, I will see it, of course, and I'll be sure you copy and pasted the right thing. But that is, that's just what it is. It is what it is. It's the national bylaws and they'll go in the beginning.
So this is one of the questions I had for you back in March about this one, because we have a parliamentarian job description. It was saying that you had to send, this is critical, any proposed changes to branch bylaws must be approved in advance by the State Bylaws Committee and must be submitted by November 1st to the committee for approval. We don't have that anymore, right?
Right.
That one by the wayside about 10 years ago, maybe longer.
Okay.
I think that went out with those boxes that had all the had all the bylaws in them.
It might be helpful to send at least some of us what that procedure should be for bylaws, so we can put it in our policies and procedures as well as the parliamentarian job description. So whatever the procedure should be, 1 or 2 sentences, what do we do if we revise our bylaws?
Yes, that would be nice. Thank you.
Okay.
I would like to see us do a date in January or something, because we're all going to be at such different places. Some of you might even have yours done and ready to send in, and some of us might still be trying to figure out something. So I was just thinking, I mean, if that's possible, to set a date now so that those of us who still have questions. And do we send these to you?
Yes.
If we get them done, we send it to you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
And just what's that email?
That's just governance at
Okay.
AAUW-CA
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so you're the governance at the state, okay.
That's the easiest way to do it that way.
Right.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
And I'll say, but, and Nancy has your hand up.
Yeah, I just had a quick question. I'm gathering that I know the answer, but do you have any recommendations on being a 501c3 versus C4?
Well, the only reason that a branch might want to establish a 501c3 separate entity is then that they could have all their monies be tax deductible.
But you can do that through the SPF.
Yes, exactly. Which is why California, AUW California, established the SPF, the Special Projects Fund. And that's where all the tech truck money goes to, and that's why. So there's tax deductible.
Now, there is a fee. There's a 5% fee to set it to SPF. And a $1,000 minimum to stay in the account, but you don't have to have a separate board. You don't have to file separate tax.
Right. So I guess my question wasn't so much as adding 501c3, but replacing the C4 with a C3. I guess some are doing that.
Yeah, I heard it's a lot of legal work to do that.
C3,
does anybody know to be from a C4 to a C3?
Actually, I worked on it and we went in Laguna Beach. I worked on both the bylaws for the 4 and the 3. And it's really good if you're a larger branch and you do more than Tech Trek. If you do scholarships, we get more money donated to us because we're a 501c3. But you cannot do a lot of political things. So we want to keep both designations of 4 and 3. But if you're a larger branch, I'd highly recommend it. It isn't that hard to do. You just need a dedicated team of 2 or 3.
Yeah, you could still do advocacy on issues as a 3. You just can't do
partisan
candidates, right? Partisan.
Right. They're just different rules, right? I think Long Beach, in fact, Francis, isn't Long Beach have a lot of money in SPF for scholarships too?
No, we don't have it for scholarships. We have it just for Tech Trek and the STEM conference.
Okay.
Scholarships right now, if we're making scholarships to either one of the university or junior college, we send it to their foundations.
Okay.
That's what Mission Viejo is, a very small branch. And we direct everything directly to Tech Trek through the state or the foundation there. But Laguna Beach is a much, much bigger branch and has a lot more money. And that makes sense to have a 501c3. We get a lot of money because we're a 501c3.
Yeah. Well, it's possible.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, let's set a date. I'll check the calendar and let you all know in January. Maybe we can have it on a Tuesday night like we did this one. And because nobody right now has that. We can't have 2 people doing a meeting on the same night at the same time. So because you know what happens? One of the meetings gets kicked off. So, so we did. But okay, I've got my homework to do. I'll send you all this reading stuff to do, and I know you're going to have lots of questions. And I'm taking off for 3 weeks beginning the 23rd of October. So I'll be home in time for Thanksgiving. But if you don't hear from me, I'll be in Italy. So I might.
Poor thing.
Tough.
Bad.
It's my first trip since January 2020. So I'm pretty excited to be going. Right. So yeah, with COVID and all of that stuff, right? So anyway.
Thanks very much for doing
Okay,
that.
thank you, Diane.
Thank you, Diane.
Thank you. It was
Great.
really fun to meet you all, and I'll be in touch. Okay.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.